I'm Gilbert Cruz with Time.com, and I'm here today with Larry King, host of CNN's long-running Larry King Live and author of the new memoir, My Remarkable Journey. Thanks for being with us today.
My pleasure, Gilbert.
What has allowed you to last this long in the job, and do you still enjoy doing it?
I still very much enjoy it, and longevity is impossible to explain. I'm doing what I always wanted to do. I never wanted to do anything else but be a broadcaster. I'm talking about age 5. I would listen to the radio and imitate the radio announcers, but I never thought I'd be seen worldwide. So all of this is a dream come true. We almost call the book "What Am I Doing Here?" I still pinch myself.
Do you agree with the perception that sometimes you avoid asking difficult questions?
Don't agree with it. I'm not there to pin someone to the wall. I try to ask perceptive questions, thoughtful questions that get at an arrival of what that person is, how they are, and what they bring forth. If I were to begin an interview with Nancy Pelosi and say, "Why did you lie about the torture things you learned?" The last thing I will learn is the truth. Of course, what am I doing? I'm putting them on defensive, purposely, to make me look good. Nothing to do with them. They're a prop. At that point, they're a prop. Well, to me, the guest is not a prop.
Are you still learning how to interview people, or have you got that down, sort of the technique?
That I think I have down. I think I know how to interview people. I've done it for so long. It's who, what, where, when, why. Mm-hmm. It's in what order you put them. What you want is a good interview subject. If you've got a subject who is passionate, who has the ability to explain what they do very well, who has a sense of humor, hopefully self-deprecating, and a little bit of a chip on the shoulder. You got those 4 things? Don't matter. President, plumber, architect, singer. You got those 4 things? No one will click off.
Are you at all concerned at the popularity of ideologically charged news programs where the host is someone who injects a lot of themselves into it?
I'm not personally concerned because I know that all things are cyclical. There's a wave, it comes in, then it goes out. Hopefully the good, straight interview, in-depth, thoughtful, listening to the answer, the guest counts, will always be around. So I'm not a fan of the ideological-based show, right or left, because I don't learn anything. There's something I learned a long time ago. I never learned a thing when I was talking. I never learned a thing when I was talking. So these shows in which the host is on 90% of the time, the guest 10%. I don't get it. But I understand people like it. I wouldn't do it.
How many pair of suspenders do you actually have?
Never counted them. But my guess would be based on there's suspenders in New York and in Washington, and of course at my home, 150. Much more ties. The one thing they have to have, they can't be clip-ons. They have to be buttons, over the buttons. So every pair of pants I buy, jeans, anything I buy, we sew in the suspender buttons. I've gotten very used to them. I like the feel. I like the way they wear. I like the look.
What do you think is the greatest challenge that media faces today?
The greatest challenge media faces today is new media. No one can predict tomorrow. The technology is ahead of the intellect. By that I mean, what I thought was fantastic was television. Think of it. You and I can be seen around the world in a minute. Then the satellites. What about satellites? Look, how could you top satellites? And then guys walk around with little machines and they punch them and words appear. So the new media is, everybody's a journalist, everybody Twitters, and they have websites, and they send out, and the danger in it is real, that when anyone's a newsman, you get a lot of false news, overreaction to stories, jumping on stories too quickly, no measuring. And the saddest part of it is the decline of the nutpaper. I love newspapers. In fact, as an aside, I was had my hair done today and Rupert Murdoch was in the next stall, and we were talking. And of course, he loves newspapers, and I love newspapers. And he said that's another generation.